what does control have to do with the happiness trap? The happiness trap is built through ineffective control strategies. In order to feel happy, we try to control what we're feeling. But these control strategies have three significant costs. 1. They take up a lot of time and energy and are usually ineffective in the long run. 2. We feel silly, defective, or weak-minded because the thoughts/feelings we're trying to get rid of keeps coming back. 3. Many strategies decrease unpleasant feelings in the short term, actually lower our quality of life over the long term. These unwanted outcomes lead to more unpleasant feelings and thus even more attempts to control them. It's a vicious cycle. Psychologists have a technical term for this inappropriate or excessive use of control strategies: experiential avoidance. Experiential avoidance means the ongoing attempt to avoid, escape from, or get rid of unwanted thoughts and feelings and memories. Even when doing so is harmful, useless, or costly, we call this experiential avoidance, because thoughts, feelings, and memories, sensations, etc. are all private experiences. Experiential avoidance is a major cause of depression, anxiety, drug and alcohol addiction, eating disorders, and a vast number of other psychological problems. So here is the happiness trap in a nutshell. To find happiness, we try to avoid or get rid of bad feelings, but the harder we try, the more bad feelings we create. It's important to get a sense of this for yourself, to trust your own experience, rather than simply believing what you read. So with this in mind, please complete the following exercise. Questionnaire. The cost of avoidance. First, complete the sentence. The thoughts/feelings I'd most likely to get rid of are. Next, take a few minutes to write a list of every single thing you've tried in order to avoid or get rid of these unpleasant thoughts and feelings. Try to remember every strategy you have ever used, whether deliberately or by default. Come up with as many examples as possible, such as avoiding people, places, or situations where the feeling occurs, using drugs, alcohol, or prescription medications, criticizing or chastising yourself, going into denial, blaming others, using visualization, self-hypnosis, or positive affirmations, reading self-help books, seeing a coach or therapist, praying, talking it through with friends, writing in your diary, smoking, eating, sleeping, putting off important changes or decisions, throwing yourself into work/socializing or hobbies or exercise, or telling yourself it will pass. Once you've done that, go through your list and for each item ask yourself, did it get rid of my painful thoughts and feelings in the long term? What did it cost me in terms of time, energy, money, health, relationships, and vitality? Did it bring me closer to a rich, full, and meaningful life? If you did this exercise thoroughly, you probably discovered three things. 1. You've invested a lot of time, effort, and energy trying to avoid or get rid of difficult thoughts and feelings. 2. Many of the strategies you've tried made you feel better in the short term, but did not get rid of your painful thoughts and feelings in the long term. 3. Many of these strategies have had significant costs in terms of wasted money, wasted time, wasted energy, and negative effects upon your health, vitality, and relationships. In other words, they made you feel good in the short term, but in the long term, they lowered your quality of life. Feeling a bit dazed, confused, or disturbed? If so, good. This is a major paradigm shift, and it challenges many deeply entrenched beliefs. Strong reactions are quite normal. Of course, if your control strategies have not had significant cost, or if they have brought you closer to the life you want, then they are not problematic and we don't need to focus on them. We are only concerned about control strategies that lower your quality of life in the long run. Wait a moment, I hear you say. Why haven't you talked about things like giving to charity or working diligently or caring for your friends? Isn't giving to other people supposed to make people feel happy? Good point. However, bear in mind that it's not just the things you do that matter, it's also your motivation for doing them. If you're giving to charity to get rid of thoughts that you're selfish, or you're throwing yourself into work to avoid feelings of inadequacy, or you're looking after your friends to counteract feelings of rejection, then chances are you won't get much satisfaction out of those activities. Why not? Because when your primary motivation is the avoidance of unpleasant thoughts and feelings, this drains the joy and vitality from what you are doing. For example, recall the last time you ate something rich and tasty to get rid of feelings of stress, boredom, or anxiety. Chances are it wasn't all that satisfying. However, did you eat that very same food not to get rid of bad feelings but purely and simply to enjoy it and appreciate its taste? I bet you that was much more fulfilling. Great advice about how to improve your life comes at you from all directions. Find a meaningful job, do this great workout, get out in nature, take up a hobby, join a club, contribute to charity, learn new skills, have fun with your friends, and so on. And all these activities can be deeply satisfying if you do them because they are genuinely important and meaningful to you. But if these activities are mainly used to escape from unpleasant thoughts and feelings, chances are they won't be very rewarding. Why not? Because it's hard to enjoy what you're doing while you're trying to escape from something threatening. So, when you do things because they are truly meaningful to you, because deep in your heart they truly matter to you, those actions would not be classified as control strategies. They would be called values guided action. I'll explain that term later. And they would be expected to improve your life in the long term. But if those very same actions are mainly motivated by experimental avoidance, if their primary purpose is to get rid of bad thoughts and feelings, then they would be called control strategies. And it would be very surprising if you found them truly fulfilling. Remember Michelle, who seems to have everything she wants in life and yet she's not happy? Michelle's life is driven by avoiding feelings of unworthiness. She is plagued by thoughts like, I'm a lousy wife, and why am I so inadequate? And nobody likes me, along with all the accompanying feelings of guilt, anxiety, and disappointment. Michelle works hard to make those thoughts and feelings go away. She pushes herself to excel at her job, frequently working late to accommodate others. She dotes on her husband and kids and caters to their every whim. She tries to please everyone in her life, always putting their needs in front of her own. The toll this takes on her is enormous. And does it get rid of those upsetting thoughts and feelings? You guessed it, by continually putting herself last and working so hard to win others' approval, she merely reinforces her sense of unworthiness. She is truly stuck in the happiness trap. How do I escape the happiness trap? Increasing your self-awareness is the first step. Notice all the little things you do each day to avoid or get rid of unpleasant thoughts and feelings, and also notice the consequences. Keep a journal or spend a few minutes each day reflecting on this. The faster you can recognize when you're stuck in the trap, the faster you can lift yourself out of it. Does this mean you just have to put up with the bad feelings and resign yourself to a life of pain and misery? Not at all. In part 2 of this book, you will learn a radically different way of handling unwelcome thoughts and feelings. You'll discover how to take away their power so they can't control you, and how to reduce their impact so they can't harm you. But don't rush. Before reading on, take a few days. Notice your attempts at control and how they are working for you. Learn to see the trap for what it is and look forward to the changes soon to come.